All right. Uh, Public profile for the famous Jagoff comedian himself, Jimmy Dore, formerly of the TYT, the TYT, the Young Turks. Okay, that's what they're referred to. If you don't call them something like the Young, okay, which is a good name. Roger Waters has a way with words. Not really. That's actually not that good a name. But anyway, we're not talking about those jagoffs. We're talking about the man himself, Jimmy Dore. Now, it's no secret, I really like Jimmy. When he tells, his jokes are funny. His jokes are funny. He doesn't tell a whole lot of jokes on his shows, though, which is probably for the best because he's presenting a show, a news show for the most part. And you just don't want too many jokes in there because you lower the quality of the news and you lower the quality of the jokes. Best to keep those two separate. Now, the man himself, I've recently seen a few things on Twitter that are unsettling, and I'll go into that in a bit, and I might link some of that as well. But I like the guy. He seems quite genuine. Okay? His position in 2016, being a Bernie bro, being probably the quintessential Bernie bro, meant a lot to me. And I think it meant a lot to everybody else because that stupid channel with those establishment chills was pushing the worst candidate, the most qualified worst candidate in history, Hillary, who nobody wanted to see win unless they were dupes or establishment shills. So just him speaking that truth out loud when everybody else was like, well, settle for the lesser evil, meant a lot. If you keep on voting for evil, not only do you end up with evil, but the folks who keep on giving you bad choices do not have any reason to change. So at its core, you should never go along with a system that will not let you back in. Okay? So from a problem-solving perspective, everybody else was only making the problem worse, and here was the one guy saying, hey, we've got to stop whatever's going on because we don't want to end up here again. And 2020 rolls around, and there we are again. Choose the worst old dude because the other option is so bad. And I don't believe any of that for me. But back to Jimmy. So that's where I come from in assessing him. But at 2020, at that point, lo and behold, by then he's got his own channel. He's got his own show. Much more fun than the Young Turks. And much more relevant to what was going on. The Young Turks like to report things. And they report on everything. They've got all these different random channels. And their reporting is just nothing. Blah. Okay. I remember sometime around the beginning of this year, John, who is my favorite of those people, he brought somebody on to talk about whether Trump would be able to run for president again if he was in jail. And apparently he can. So not only are they presupposing that he will be in jail, or giving their viewers this fantasy idea that, oh, Trump's going to be in jail, but we're still going to be able to make fun of him as he runs for president. No, it's like a few steps removed from reality. And it's just this kind of pandering horseshit stuff. So it's so much easier to look at the Jagoff and say, well, this guy, at least he's not yanking my chain and trying to get me to fall in line with this dumb stuff. Now, I don't like his position on police, but he's very anti-police, which is fine by me, but most of the anti-police and abolish the police people don't seem to understand the significance of internal stability and law and order. Okay, if you get rid of the system's enforcers, the system will not be enforced. Okay, and when that happens, law and order for regular people will evaporate, but the people in power will still have their power, they'll still have their safety nets, and they'll still have their bodyguards. Okay? So as much as people want to say the police are so bad, people are pretty terrible too. Okay? Especially once you have economic instability and you have people who are predatory in their approach to your possessions and your life as well. So I've never been shot by a cop. I'm lucky. Maybe I'm one of the lucky ones, I guess. In any case, besides his radical approach to police, seems like an ACAB sort of guy, almost all of his takes are good. I like the guy. He seems to be anti-war. He seems to be pro-free speech, anti-censorship, and censorship is the number one issue. I mean, there are words I would say on this video where YouTube has their magical AI crawling through the video somehow, and they can just censor through algorithm now and through AI, which is equivalent to godlike powers. And nobody was there to protect us from this. So we allowed ourselves to be monetized by big tech. We gave them all our data, which was, in my case, it was college, when they started rising. So I got to benefit on some level, got some action, got to connect with friends, so on and so forth. So for me, it was a trade-off. But this totalitarian control of big tech and censorship, it's still not even reached its peak. Okay? And it's just a buzzword for politicians to use. Oh, we're going to get them, we're going to censor them. The president himself couldn't do jack to Jack, okay? Or to Mark. So Jimmy's highlight or spotlight on these issues is, I think, critical. It is essential. Okay. I can't mention the guy in jail in the UK over some trumped up charges and all that, but Jimmy has been backing him, at least since he got his own channel, if not before. So, I like Jimmy Dore. He is my favorite YouTube. Not my favorite, really. There are a few other people in the left sphere who are not even the left. We just call them the freedom lovers, who are fun, who are more fun. But he puts in some real effort to present news, and he does it very well. So, as a person, as a public person, I give him a B. That is, I think, the highest mark I've given so far out of these 3 videos. It's all right. It's going to be hard to beat Jimmy, first and foremost. Now, if we're talking about what he does, he's got a bit of a clique thing going on, which I don't mind, because his clique is very tight. So he's got his wife, the miserable liberal, Steph Zamorano. Steph is wonderful. Her impersonations, or her impressions, are spot on. When she does Nancy Pelosi, watch out world. I think she should actually run for office, but, she actually, if she just did a Nancy Pelosi impression, I think she would win. People would be confused enough, maybe. He also has a few other friends, I guess a trio. Is it a trio? He's got Grant, and he's got Aaron, and he has... These are his 3 musketeers, and I think Jimmy's very loyal to them. And they all seem like nice guys. They all have a different angle, and Jimmy seems to just platform them for that. And they do great. They do a good enough job covering their respective news angles. Okay? He also has he brings on a lot of different people, and when he does the interviews, they're great. Now, there are 2 issues, though, I will bring up, and this is where I have the caveats. Now, this doesn't change anything about how much I like Jimmy. Still a great guy. But the first is a clip that I saw on Twitter recently from his premium podcast where subscribers were asking questions, and a subscriber asked him about the TYT drama, which is Chenka Union Buster. in this 1 minute clip, approximately 50 seconds, 1 minute, Jimmy's first statement is sort of, I don't know, I don't think he's a union buster. And then, and this was in, I think, 2020, this clip was from the time when Cenk was actually running for Congress before he totally crashed and burned like the fathead he is. Okay? But I understood this to be Jimmy protecting his former boss and co-host, not even co-host, his former boss and friend, the guy who Jimmy owes a lot to. By the way, if I'm starting to sweat here, it is because of this historic heat wave. Okay. At the end of the clip, the last 30 seconds, Jimmy goes, well, I don't know, it's probably better just, I'll have him on here and whatever. So I feel like he actually retracted his first sentence of he's not a union buster to I don't know what actually happened. I did not have first-hand experience with that. Therefore, I don't want to speak about that, especially now. Because, as he said, anything I say is going to end up being bad. So I think he was being pragmatic and covering for somebody who was his friend at the time. Is it, I mean, I don't know what to say. Was he lying? It's hard to say. When you have friends and people you care about, people you owe things to, you don't want to pile on. You don't want to be part of what hurts them. Okay, and this was after Bernie Sanders had already retracted his endorsement of Cenk for his random misogyny and all of that. The other thing that I've heard, and this was very recent, recent take, is that Jimmy does not report as intensely as he should about certain things that relate to the security state. I don't know. I don't know those things unless we get whistleblowers and other people to tell us what the truth is. We don't know. Does he suppress information? Is he what's called a limited hangout? I hope not. It would be disappointing to find out that my guy, I think of him as my guy, is part of the power protection racket in some way, even if it's inadvertent. I've heard the same about Greenwald as well, Glenn Greenwald, that he has not leaked all of the information he got from Snowden. In any case, I can't speak to these things. I don't know about them. But I would hope that there is someone with integrity out there. And I would hope it's my guy. Anyway, so those are caveats, but in the end I understand everybody's got their compromises that they have to make to get along in society among their people. So I hope that we can expect the best from these people, but in the end, they're not your friends. Nobody is your friend. Unless maybe you do have friends. I don't have too many. So I like Jimmy, and I like what he does. And as I said, he gets a B. He's a good guy. That's it for now. Peace.